Hello and welcome to today's episode of Dream Business, Dream Life. Now, today I want to have a bit of a heart to heart with you about something that might not feel urgent, but it's absolutely essential if you want to build a business and a life that you truly love. And that is taking time out of your business to actually work on your business. Now, before you roll your eyes and think that that's something only big corporate CEOs do, I promise you this is for you too. Whether you're a solopreneur, growing a small team, or even dreaming about the next level, CEO time is what helps you create the vision, the freedom, and the impact you started this business for. So I'm going to start with a little piece of my own story. So when I built my first business, the one that went on to reach seven figures, I did what so many other people do. I worked harder and harder. I was in delivery mode, ticking off the to-do lists, chasing the deadlines, looking after customers and managing the stock, managing the team. I was doing all of the doing. Now, from the outside, my business looked incredible. People would always say I must be living the dream. But the reality is, the business had completely taken over my life. It was not a dream at all. I wasn't giving myself any space to step back, to zoom out, to think about where we were going, because I was so busy working in the business that I never, ever worked on the business. And that meant I missed opportunities. I kept recreating those same cycles of busyness. And quite frankly, I lost myself in all of it. If I had just given myself some regular CEO time, I know that my journey would have felt very different, more balanced, more joyful, and much less overwhelming. And that's why now I'm so passionate about sharing this with you today. Now, if you pause for a minute and look at your own business right now, where are you operating as the employee constantly, doing the do? And where are you stepping into your CEO role, zooming out and looking from the outside in? Something for you to think about. So let's talk about what it actually means to be the CEO of your business, because it sounds like a very corporate fancy title. But what it isn't is having a fancy office in the corner of the room or having a title that everybody is envious of. It's actually about leadership. It's about being the person who holds the vision, the one who decides where the business is heading and how it's actually going to get you there. So when you carve yourself out time to be the CEO, what you're actually doing is giving yourself space to ask those important questions. Questions like, where am I right now? Where am I going? And what needs to change? What needs to shift for me to get to there? Without this time, you are going to constantly be firefighting, reacting to whatever is thrown in front of you. I was constantly reacting in my e-commerce business, and frankly, it's exhausting. When you're working like that, when you're reacting and firefighting, the business is actually going to start running you instead of you running the business. So when was the last time you gave yourself a full day to just think about your business? I don't mean working in it or catching up on tasks. I mean really zooming out to look at the big picture, because that's where the magic happens. The magic happens when you give yourself permission to step away from the to-do list and take a day to work on your business. You gain clarity. Suddenly you can see what actually matters and what's just noise. You notice gaps and opportunities, things that you were too close to see before. You reconnect with your creativity because ideas need space to percolate and land. And you re-energize. You remember why you started this thing in the first place. I know now from both personal experience and hindsight that if I had done this more often in my seven-figure business, I would have built something that worked for me, not consumed me. And that's why I never compromise CEO time anymore. I prioritize working on my business. Now, if you were to block out just one CEO day this month, what's the very first thing you'd want to focus on? Give that some thought. Let that settle. Now, I want to share something else I've discovered. Doing this, spending time working on your business on your own, is super powerful. But doing it alongside other people, that takes it to a whole new level. Because sometimes, even when we're allowing ourselves that space, we still can't see our own blind spots. Sometimes we're sitting on an idea, and the moment we say it out loud to somebody else, it suddenly clicks, it suddenly makes sense, it suddenly feels achievable. And sometimes we just need to hear that other voice saying, you're on the right track. Or maybe think about this. There's so much magic in sharing learning, in connection, in conversation with other people. You hear what's working for others, and it sparks ideas for you. You realise you're not alone in the challenge you're facing. And having that second set of eyes, that fresh perspective, can absolutely shift everything for you. That's exactly why I now host VIP days and in-person group strategy days, because I know deeply how transformational it is to step out of your normal routine and into a space that's designed for reflection, for strategy, for breakthroughs. It's not about adding more to your plate. It's about creating the space where clarity, vision, and direction can come through. I never want anyone else to end up with a business that consumes them the way mine once did. I want you to have a business that supports your dream life. So, my question to you today is simple. When are you going to give yourself your next CEO day? Maybe it'll be your first ever CEO day. Even if it's just one day this month, book it in. Step out of the normal routine. Take yourself somewhere different. Take a journal and ask yourself those big questions. Where am I right now? Where am I going? And what needs to shift? What needs to change for me to get there? Because your dream business, your dream life, they don't happen by accident. They happen because you lead them there. So make it happen. And you know exactly where to find me if you want to explore my VIP days or my group strategy days so you can do with others. I cannot wait to hear about the breakthroughs you create when you actually give yourself some permission, some time to step into your CEO role. Thank you for listening. I will see you next time.